As a kid, there were only two things I ever wanted to do. I wanted to be in the military and I wanted to be a police officer. And so I joined the Marine Corps. After the Marine Corps, I decided to come back home. I had had my first child, and so being gone as much as I was, I decided to get back home and spend some more time with him. So I spent my first 2.5 years as a police officer with the Pasadena Independent School District. Ended up working as the campus officer at South Houston High School, which is the high school I had graduated from like 4.5 years before. I realized that municipal policing was probably more where my heart was. I wanted to do special operations, i.e. SWAT and those types of things, and that wasn't available with the school district. So how I ended up in League City, I decided I was going to apply with the city of Pasadena again and with League City. I kind of left it up to chance. Whichever city hired me first, that's where I was going to go. League City offered me a job prior to Pasadena, and so I came down here and I haven't regretted it for a moment. League City is a great city. Started as a patrol officer, worked weekend midnights for several years, canine officer, bike officer, Marine Division officer, field training officer, firearms and tactics instructor, auto crimes task force agent, sergeant, lieutenant, Office of Professional Standards lieutenant, captain, and then I became an assistant chief prior to this. So being able to move around the department, I think really gave me appreciation for what everybody else did to make the whole, or the proverbial wheels on the bus go round and round. And so everybody serves in some capacity to support the overall mission, and if they weren't there doing it, somebody's gonna have to pick up that slack. So I think it gives you a better appreciation of what everybody does within the organization. I can't think of a time in my life where there hasn't been a citizen that's put a smile on my face for some reason, through a divorce, through children being born and the stresses of trying to be, a young dad and pay for things. And anytime that there's been a stressor, critical incidents in the city and stuff where I've been on scenes for those, it has never failed. There's been some citizen here that has always done something, said something, offered a handshake, a smile, a hug, something to make every one of those incidents somewhat better. So there's never been a time in my life or in my professional career where I've doubted that this is where I should have been. Our biggest priority right now is the implementation of our mental health unit. That would be probably our biggest endeavor here in the next 12 to 18 months. Whatever avenue might be helpful for them while they're in crisis, we'd like to be able to have that readily available in that unit. So that's probably the biggest flagship program. As important as I believe it is to build strong relationships with our community, for the agency to function effectively, I think it's important to build strong relationships within the walls too. If the officers know that I always have their best interests at heart, and by having their best interests at heart, we naturally have the citizens' best interests at heart. An happy, productive police officer is a much better servant to the community.